Hey everyone, what's up? This is Blaze and welcome to the Ravenwood Bulletin for April of 2014. So finally we have some really good content in a newsletter. I've been waiting for this to come out in a newsletter since pretty much, I think, February. The February newsletter, I thought that they were going to finally release some stuff about part 2 and, like, you know, be like, oh yeah, the test room's coming out this month. Well, it's been a couple months since then, and we finally have some good information on when Chrysalis Part 2 is going to come out. So we know for a fact that, from the second paragraph here, which I'll read in a second, that Chrysalis Part 2 is going to be coming out in the test room this month sometime. So I'm going to read this for you because it gives us some really good information about that. So, but Egbert is only the beginning. Chrysalis Part 2 will be arriving to the test room any day now, and we know you're really excited to learn all about it. With this worldly expansion also comes many new updates and features, including some new pets, some new spells, some new weapons, and of course, lots of new adventures. So, we know it's coming out this month, we just don't know when. Usually, if I had to guess, it'll come out on a Thursday because that's what they usually did. I know that's what happened with Azteca, and I assume, and was it? I think it was the case with Azteca. I'm not really sure. That was like a year ago, over a year ago. But for part 1, that came out on Thursday. That came out October like 26th, I think, which was a Thursday. So that is what a lot of people think is the date that they release the big test rooms. At least with part 2 is going to be a pretty big one because it has a whole new world in it. So that's people's thought process on that. So possibly tomorrow, which is Thursday. That would be really awesome. I would prefer that because, you know, we've been waiting for so long. But that's also, you know, we might be waiting another week for next Thursday, or maybe they don't even decide to release it on a Thursday. I have no idea. We're just waiting, as we've been doing for a while now. So the next little part has some screenshots about part 2 that we haven't seen before. So now the first one here, there's the first thing I saw in this was this orb, which this bug person is holding, and it reminded me of the orbs that we saw in Bastion of part 1. There's 2 of them in Bastion. There may be another one that we just can't see. Actually, yeah, see this over here? This could be the second pedestal. So I was thinking this could be the main area of part 2. So it could be like the new Bastion where we go and get our quests from, and then we take like a path to go to the next area. So that could be one of the main areas, or it could just be a content, you know, area where we have quests off from the main area, which I don't know what they're going to call it. They probably have a new name for the Chrysalis Part 2 main area, but in Part 1 it was called Bastion. So that's kind of what I saw looking at this image. Also, the other thing that caught my eye was this little pedestal thing here that kind of looks shadow-like, shadow spell-like to me, because it has like some pink in it. And I don't know, it looks kind of like an eye on the top, but that could be something that's part of a quest. But that's what I saw in the first image here. The next one looks like Crescent Beach, which we saw in the concept art with those bug boats. I think there's another image of like the boat. Yeah, there's a boat that we see later. But that's what we originally saw in the concept art, was this. So we've kind of seen this. Looks like some tents and stuff. The next one looks like, to me, it looks like a path leading up to like a big temple, because this looks like a broken arch here. And then behind the camera where they took the screenshot, I think there's going to be some kind of big building or structure. That's what it seems like. And we're going to have to like sneak our way in. Like this could be, these are some elemental mobs, and I don't really know what this is. It doesn't really look like a mob to me, but it could be. I have no idea. So that's one of the areas. This part, when I saw this for the first time, it reminded me of one of the areas in Azteca where you had to take the boat to. I think it was Stone Town or something like that. Like one of those places. I think it was either Stone Town or the place you go before Stone Town. So that's kind of what it reminded me of. I think it was that market. I forgot the exact name of it, but it was some kind of market. Baobab market, I don't know. Like the marketplace. They had like a little dock with a boat. So that's what this kind of reminded me of when I first saw it. It looks like there's a wall, so we're in some kind of city. So that is that with those bug boats that we've already seen. The next one looks like some kind of sand. It looks like there's actual sand coming off of these floating rocks here. And then we have some other kind of... And there's actually a little cactus here. I didn't even see that. So that's another... Actually, I think there was a desert. One of the areas is called a desert. I can't remember the exact name of it. Might have started with a G. There's a desert. This could be a screenshot from that desert area. Then it looks like we have some kind of spider cave, which actually has scorpions in it. So this is similar to what we saw in the gorge, the Tyrian Gorge of part 1. So that's what this looked like to me. And I'm sure there's a lot of spider mobs as well, even though they don't look like spiders. They look like, or they don't look like, yeah, they don't look like spiders. They look like scorpions, like smaller versions of those other scorpions that we saw in Tyrian Gorge. So that's kind of what I was seeing with these 6 new screenshots. So we have those. And then, so I think that's really the Chrysalis Part 2 information that we have so far. So that is, and I'm glad they put it in the first part of the newsletter because it is pretty important. That's what people are looking for. So the next part is, since it's spring, they're having some kind of spring promotions on different websites. Of course, it's only the official websites or fan sites that get these codes or whatever, so I guess they're having those. And those are all the links over there. Next part is how to draw. I think they had one of these in one of the other recent newsletters, which was just to like how to I think it was just coloring pages. I'm trying to think what month that was. Was that last month? Not really sure. One of the months they had these, so I guess they're kind of continuing with that. This, I didn't really read through all this. I just read like the first paragraph, and I think it's just about account security. And yeah, theft is never, yeah, it's pretty much just that. So we've already seen that before. He said this, Merle Ambrose has said this multiple times. And then, what is this? So you're crazy about crustaceans. Oh, Wizard. These are just 2 promos for the Wizard message boards and the Wizard101 Twitter, which just hit 30,000 followers on that. And of course the usual abracadabra. So really the only things that were pretty important was this information on when the test run is going to come out, which is any day now. Could be tomorrow, could be in a couple weeks, I don't know. At least we know that we will be seeing it this month at some time. And then we got some cool images from part 2 itself. These are some screenshots. So that's what we saw in this newsletter, which kind of was what I was looking for. I really wanted, well, I know that King's Isle isn't one for actual release dates, because even with the release of Chrysalis Part 1 into the live ROM, they still never had an official release date for that. They just kind of release it whenever they're ready for it. So no official release date, but we just know that we will see it this month sometime. But the way they said it, when they say any day now, that makes it seem like it's going to come out more early April than later. So that's what I would think. But who knows? We're just going to have to wait and see with all of that. So I don't even think I mentioned it. Eggbird's going to be arriving April 14th. So that's the only official date that we get. So April 14th for Eggbird there. But other than that, that is the April Ravenwood Bulletin for 2014. So some good information, and we will definitely be seeing some new stuff, new content being released into the test ROM. There's also a potential Pirate 101 test ROM that should be coming out soon this month, I would think too. So a lot of cool content that's going to be coming out, but we just have to wait and see when all that is. So if you guys watch the entire thing, make sure you leave a like to help me out. And definitely subscribe if you guys are new. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.